Hi everybody, this is OOMPH and you are listening to the Dan Chan Show.
So I've got OOMPH, one of the pioneers of the NDH German music scene with me now. I've got all three of them, the triple threat. How are you doing, guys?
Fine. Thank you. Great.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. Yes. It's a pleasure. So I've got two of you in, are you still in Wolfsburg? Is that where you're based?
We are here sitting in Braunschweig. We started in Wolfsburg, but now in the big city now.
Big city, big city. And Dan, where are you based?
In Hanover.
Oh, Hanover.
Near to Braun.
Yeah, I love that. I love
Not so
Germany.
far from Braunschweig.
I love Germany so much. The beer halls, the beer, the best beer in Europe. I love it. It's one of my favorite places to go.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get into it. So there's so much to talk about in little time. So I want to jump straight into the obvious news and the elephant in the room, and I can see him now to come from your camp that you've got a new singer, Der Schultz. His name's Dan, who literally just joined the band. This is a big change for you guys. You know, can you tell me about the process, about how Daniel got here?
Well, actually, we asked Daniel to be our singer at first. He was the first singer that we contacted because we know each other. We know each other since longer times, but we know each other really good since 2015 when he was with his band Unzucht as a special guest support on our European tour. And so we got to know each other, got to be friends. And when it came to the point where we had to look for a new singer, he was first in our minds and thoughts, and we contacted him. Then it was spread that OOMPH needs new singer, and of course then have been active signing in requests of other singers too, and we both knew about the responsibility, about the history of OOMPH, our lifetime project, and also the responsibility to our fans. So we took all our time that it was needed to try everybody, although we had always Daniel back in our head. Yeah. We tried about 25 singers, really worked with them, met with them, tried to work on songs of the new album. But in the end, it was very clear to us to come back to Daniel.
And Dan's just sat there waiting, going, why are you bothering these 24 guys? I'm here ready to do the show, guys. How was it? What was it like for you, Dan, waiting for the news to join such an epic band?
Yeah, it was a lot hard to wait for half a year. It was.
Wow, you made him wait half a year, 6 months,
or 5 months. But I was when the message came in, I was very, very lucky, and yeah.
And it must be good for you knowing the guys as well. You're not going into a brand new unit. You know the guys well, and it's like a hand in glove situation.
Yes, absolutely, and it fits very well together. So we are from same age. We speak the same language, have the same sense of humor, and we know about which musical roots we are talking. And so it was very organic. We start working, and it was like it was not a strange thing. We started, and it was very organic and simple to work together.
Cool. Now let's go on to I'm right in saying it's your 14th studio album, correct? Yeah. Is out on September the 8th, called Richter Und Henker. Sorry, my German. You know, how excited are you to have this album out? And I gather that Dan's on the album. He's recorded the vocals for that. It's all Dan, right?
You mean if it's ready, the recording?
Yeah, the album's all ready and Daniel's doing vocals.
Yes.
There's not like a Fear Factory situation where Burton Seabell leaves the band and then he's still on the vocals for the album. You know, it's Dan's on this new album and going forward.
Yes, of course. This was our main idea, to find a singer for until our retirement when we are 99 or something like this. We don't want to make somehow project like OOMPH has now different singer every next album. No. It's not how we work. We work with Daniel from the beginning, and this is also how we tried new singers. We had already sketches of the first songs, and in the first session when we worked with Daniel, 5 of these ideas we made on this new demo version songs are still now on the album. So this is about the magic which happens between us. We work fast and good together and very inspired. And we look for a fitting band member who works equally with us on all songs, 3 as a production team, for now and for the future.
Right. Okay. So you've released your lead single, again, my German, Wem die Stunschlacht, correct?
Very good. Wem die Stunschlacht. Yes. Yeah.
Now, can you tell me, that's obviously a great taste of what's to come. Can you tell me more about the album and what we can expect from it?
As with former OOMPH albums, it is a slightly progression about things we've learned of how to produce music or influences we have in the meantime, influences in our life. But we're not somehow forgetting our roots, all these electronic elements, electronic body music style, metal, and everything we combine, and it will be a progress. But I think the main change is, of course, Daniel to have as a new singer, and this is change enough. So we wanted to have it like a follow-up of our last album, Ritual, which was in Germany at #1, so very successful. So why to change it completely? Yeah. But of course, there are slightly changes and progress in it, of course. Yeah.
Having mentioned that, being #1 from the last album, have you set the bar really high now? Do you expect that every album from now on, or is it just like see what happens?
Well, being #1 in charts is also influenced on finding the right spot in time, when you release it, how much competition is it? Yeah. And so now, last time it was released in January, this time we are in September, so it can be totally different competition between other releases. So we don't know. For us, it's, we want to be good. We want to have good response. We want to play a good upcoming tour, and the sales of the tickets are really good. It have been good, although fans didn't know who is the new singer. This is showing how much trust they have in both of us, and also that we will create something that they will still love.
Sure. Now, having released so many albums, how do you write and record now compared to the past? How have you evolved over the years? You did touch upon it on about electronics and stuff like that. But I mean, how do you still get together in a room, or do you send files, or how does it work now compared to, say, the early 90s?
I think it doesn't change so much. We always had albums where we wrote a lot of songs just from sketch, from nothing, in meeting in the studio, and just everybody takes an instrument that he likes and feels in the moment and just jam and see what happens. Or also we write a lot of songs, each of us over the year. We always write songs and collect ideas, and then we bring it together and work together on it. Sometimes the songs have already melody for vocals and even some lyrics to start with. Sometimes it's only like the musical playback and arrangement, where you can maybe for vocal lines take one of the melodies out of it, or we do it together. So every option we have, and this is, I think, also the potential of OOMPH, that we have so many different working styles, composing styles, and everybody of us is a composer, and Daniel fits perfect in it because he is also delivering vocal lines, lyrics, and we all 3 work then together and make up the final production of the song and arrangement.
So who's writing the lyrics? I mean, does Dan get involved in that now? Is it a fresh thing for him? Because obviously from a non-German perspective, non-German speaking perspective, what are the themes behind your lyrics and your albums?
So in the title song, Wem die Stunde schlägt, is For Whom the Bell Tolls. Right. So we get inspired from Hemingway, who we love very much, his style of writing. And in many songs I came up with the idea to the lyrics, wrote lyrics, then we sat together and create the final version of the lyrics. But also from the both other guys came also lyric ideas, and so it's we always sit at the final together and work together on the lyrics and on the melody lines and so on.
Yeah, I understand.
On this album, very much is reflected the last 2-3 years, what was going on in our world. Like starting with Corona, that we have been blocked not to play concerts. Then the separation, of course, what is going on, how people talk with each other in social medias, which you can find on Richter and Henker. Everybody's now thinking he can be judge himself and also kill people immediately with his comments. And there's no real talking more, no more like thinking first. Everybody is already judging, no discussion anymore. And also, of course, influenced by horrible war situation, which is going on in Ukraine, Russia attacking Ukraine. And so there's also anti-war songs influenced by this topic, brothers against brothers, like you can hear in Nur ein Mensch. And also, of course, love is always a topic, and love and relationships of all of us. And
if I can take you back a little bit, because I've never spoken to you guys before, so I hope you've heard this question many times before, but if you don't mind, you can tell me a little bit more about how you crafted and mastered the dance-laden industrial sound with guitars. How did it all come about back in the late 80s? Was that whole movement, how did it happen? You know, I mean, did you know what was happening at the time when this Neue Deutsche Harte NDH movement was happening? Tell me about it.
Well, some consider us as one of the founders of Neue Deutsche Harte.
Of course, yeah.
Especially we have not been sitting there like, oh, let's create Neue Deutsche Harte. This is not how it's working. It's just we combined music that we loved since our childhood. Like at this time, rock music from Motorhead, AC/DC, really like danceable rock music with riffs and the powerful vocals. I think nobody of us had been fans of this melodic hairspray metal. Never. At this time, we listened more than to electronic bands like Kraftwerk, Depeche Mode, or also The Cure. And this influences we combined in our music. There was also a band, Die Krups and Nizza Epp, who had this electronic body music, which also influenced us on the first second albums very much. And then, of course, we progressed as musicians, as guitar players, and there have been then influences of more metal in the 90s, and we are not closing our ears. We try to develop and we try to spread our musical horizons and pick what we like, and if you want it or not, it gets influenced in your music. And so we like to combine this electronic world, which we grow up with metal and rock guitars, which is fun to play in the studio and live. And this is how we came up with this. And of course, in the beginning, we had English vocals, 70% or 60% on the album, and the rest German vocals. It was maybe also because we have still to learn how to use German language and feel confident with it. It's much easier to hide behind some English words, and for us Germans, they just sound, it's already sounding good. Yeah,
I get it.
And so, but we found after a while that German lyrics are more deep because it's our mother tongue. We feel, we think, we dream about in this language, and so it was natural to write more German lyrics.
Now, you say you like to experiment, and you did do right at the start. Do you like to experiment with each release, and have you ever taken it too far? You know, stuff that never makes it to the record that you're like, nah, it's not going to work. Do you ever go that far, or do you know your limits?
Well, I'm not sure. We tried also in 2012 to be more ironic, more funny somehow, and had some more colorful pictures with this album, Des Wahnsinns fette Beute. And this shocked some fans who knew us before as only dark, gothic, and black, but we try to explore new dimensions for us, to try new things, to keep it fresh for us. If we would only follow the roots of our first album, it would be pretty boring for us as an artist and not inspiring. For us, it's always challenging to try something new, and although we didn't want it to have this situation, but to work with a new singer, with a new personality, a new character together was very much inspiring and pushing us this whole situation to also prove that we can make it now. was really inspiring, and the challenge which helped us to create this kind of album, I think.
Awesome. Now, I've got to mention it because many years ago, how I found out about you was through Rammstein, right? Because an English guy, late 90s. I just got into Rammstein back in the mid 90s after the Herzschelide album. And it was before the internet. And there was some kind of, I think it was in one of my local record stores, or some kind of like industrial metal magazine thing. And it was like you could order albums. And I ordered OOMPH, I ordered Megahertz, I ordered Icebreaker. These are the 3 albums I ordered. And that's the first time I heard about you, but I only went down that route because of my love of Rammstein. So how does it feel to have influenced Rammstein? And do you shy away from the limelight, or do you embrace the likeness? And do you take that?
I think for us, it was also not coming from one day to the other that we know about Rammstein. It was on our first shows that we played in Berlin, 1992, 1993, we met these guys in our audience as fans. They gave us their first demo tape from their first album, if we maybe can pass it to our record label at this time. Mm-hmm. So we know each other, we respect each other, and of course we followed their progress and development, and then their big success to the top. And we never had the feeling that they stole something from us, because they are also somehow in our age, and they got same influences. And of course, yes, we influenced them. And maybe for a start, we started ground for them in Germany. But then it was, as you said, other way around. Then they started for us in other countries. And we had tours all over the world, and a lot of times we heard the same sentence, I know you because I was in love with Rammstein. And then fans talk with each other and tell each other, there's another German band you should listen to. And as we have a lot of music videos, it's easy for fans all around the world to discover OOMPH on YouTube. And for this we are thankful, because they made ground for us in other countries.
It's the same situation when I spoke to Zach from Clawfinger, and it's the same situation for them. You know, Rammstein came in under the radar, and then all of a sudden the switch rolls with, who was supporting who. And that's how, I got to know Clawfinger back in the early mid 90s as well.
I think they even hired their producer from Clawfinger to do their first album, and second and things. Yeah.
Amazing.
But they opened so many doors to sing in German in other countries.
Exactly.
I'm half Spanish. My mom is from Galicia. And when I came that one year to my family there, they never spoke any words in German. Never, ever. And then my cousin starts with du hast mich. And wow, what happened here?
Well, okay, just from a German perspective, from the music scene, what do you think what's made them go where they are now? What was it? What was their enigma, their elixir? What was it that took them to this stadium band now?
I think it's a combination out of the typical image that especially foreigners have in the heads of Germans, and they fulfill it, from lyrics, from look, and, even especially in the beginning, showing some aesthetics, let's say like this, which come from a dark area of Germany, and they played with it. And of course, in some countries, it's fun maybe to see Germans going back to this cliches again. And of course, this big Hollywood production of fire and explosions. It's always fascinating humans. Humans are fascinated by fire since our cave age, and it's still working. When we play sometimes a festival or a TV show where their producers just make, it's OOMPH, we make an explosion, and then usually we don't have it with fire on stage, but then we see the reactions in the audience. Fire!
That's it.
It's always a big thing.
Of course. Now, moving back to you guys, you released your English compilation, Truth or Dare, back in 2010, I think it was. It's a great thank you to your non-German speaking fans. What was the thinking behind that release? Was it to literally bring a new audience in?
Yeah, maybe to try to find out if it can work. At this time, starting 2004, we had major success in German-speaking countries and some other European countries as well. But especially in Germany, we had platinum albums, and also in Austria. And so record company asked us, maybe we can do somehow a best of in English, just to try if it will open new markets. But the thing was, then we went with this album on European tour, and in our social media was not so big at this time, but on the website we had a forum to discuss with fans. All of them in every country asked us, please play the original German versions on tour. Don't please come to, I don't know, Poland or Czech Republic and sing, and France and sing in English. We don't want to hear it. It's anyway not our language, so please sing in German. And so it was one try, and then we came back to German language.
Fair enough. So what's happening tour-wise with the band this year? What's the plan? You said you got gigs planned and they're selling well. What's happening? Where are you off to?
Yeah, soon we will do a new recording of 2 videos to be out before the album release in September. There will be 2 videos of one is Richter and Henker, and the other one will be for Nur ein Mensch. And I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it because it was not in public yet. But we will do 2 videos, and then will be the album release. And in November we'll start a European tour. Unfortunately, this time we will not play in London like on the last tour.
Yeah,
and also not in Spain as in Barcelona. But maybe in the next year we will do a second circle and see what will happen. Yeah. So far we are looking forward. It will be 1 month on tour.
Yeah.
And summer festivals we are booking right now, and looking forward to it to be on stage again after 2020 was last time for us.
Yeah, really? For 3 years now we are not on stage.
Well,
it's a big day when we are the first time. I think it's the 2nd of November that we go on stage, and
wow,
it's the first time for 3 years that we go on stage.
Yeah. Old bones.
Yeah. And the first one for Dan as well. I was going to say, has Dan done a show yet? But obviously not. And Dan, what's that going to be like? And what's the anxiousness and the belly rumblings, knowing you've not played for so long? Will that happen for you guys, having been in the industry for so many years? Or is it just going to be like, nah, back on stage, doesn't matter? Riding an old bike.
Actually, I played shows in the meantime with my other band.
Yeah.
But it was also a hard time with less concerts, and we played at the first in 2020. It was about 9 months that I didn't play, and I have was heißt Muskelkater? My whole body was aching like hell for 3 days after that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But of course, we will have some rehearsal days with the whole band and crew and audio engineers to prepare for the tour. It will not be just a cold start, first show, then see what happens. No, of course, we will, especially after such a long time and with a new singer, we will have some practice days before.
So a 3-piece turns into a 6-piece. Who's in your live band?
Yeah, we are completed by a drummer, by a keyboarder, and a bass player to be able to play everything what we are producing nearly on the album, also live. And right now we are in arranging time how to make this somehow big orchestra that we are able to use on an album. To put it down to only 6 people on stage. It will not be, and we want to play a lot of songs from the new album so that Daniel has the chance to sing his own songs and not only karaoke.
Yeah, of course. What's an OOMPH show like? Unfortunately, I've never seen you guys live. If you're not coming to Barcelona anytime soon, I won't be, unless I come to Germany, of course. What's an OOMPH show like? What can the punter expect?
No fire. No explosions. This I can guarantee. This is the other band.
Yeah.
But authentic, full energy, rock and roll show with everything you can expect. It's about us. It's about our emotions. Usually it's a big party together with our fans, a lot of singing together, dancing together, having fun, energy. This is what OOMPH is about. Yeah.
Sure. And outside of German-speaking countries, where do you like to play? What always impresses you? Obviously not London or Spain.
This is not true because it was the first concert in London that we had.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Last tour in 2019. And I know that London is one of the favorite cities of Crab to visit on vacations. He's really a fan of it. And I also have been 2 or 3 times in London on private. And this show, we really enjoyed it. And also we had meet and greets before and after the show with our fans. And to get this exchange is always very important for us. And we like to find out these little differences between people in what country you are. If we played in Vladivostok or if we played in Mexico City.
Yeah.
So we are very lucky when you think about it that we can travel with our job and hobby that it is all around the world and meet people, meet countries. And it also helps to understand somehow what's going on in the world better if you really met people in these countries and talked with people in these countries and not just see things happening in the news.
So where is your favorite place to play outside of Germanic countries then?
We won't want
You're not going to say it.
Point out one thing.
Okay. Fred, I'll let you off.
Of course, it's something like this when you fly 15 hours and play Mexico City for the first time. This is somehow feeling for you like a highlight.
Yeah,
thing.
I understand.
But maybe when you tour already the 6th year in the country, it gets more used to it. Yeah. I remember that when we played first show in Paris, first show in France, how big it was for us. Now it's like on every tour and you get used to it, but still every crowd is a little bit different, a little bit crazy in this 1 or 2 dimensions. But we have so lovely fans all around the world who believe and trust and show us how much OOMPH music means to them.
Yeah, sure. When I used to tour, I used to look at where the best places where the good beer and the good food was. That was always my priority. Where's the good beer? So it's always Germany and Czech area is always good for me. Now you mentioned
well, we can share it because we have on our rider what to drink.
Yeah.
In the past we had German beers, which is available all around the world to be safe, but we got bored of it. So now we changed it. Bring us the best local beer. So for every local organizer, it's now a challenge. And we know about the people and we know about the beer now in every country.
I think Dan wants
in Barcelona,
Estrella Galicia,
Estrella Galicia, but in Barcelona, Estrella Damm.
Exactly. Now, just a quick, because we've got 10 minutes left. You know, you mentioned Vladivostok. You know, Russia must have been a big stomping ground for you guys when you toured there. Has having that cut off affected you in any way? Obviously, is it a bit just pissed you off?
Well, of course, it's a very sad situation, and my wife is Ukrainian, and you can imagine that I'm emotionally very much involved since today. It's 512 days of war. Unbelievable. When it started, everybody thought it's not real, and unfortunately, it will be over soon. That Putin will get the whole country. And now they're fighting back very brave. And we have this conflict since so many days. And with a lot of never needed killing and tortures and all this. And, it's hard to describe what is going on in our minds. And it's not possible to see it just as a financial breakdown for us that we cannot tour anymore in Russia. It's so much more, which is connected. And of course, you think about, fans, are they responsible for the war or is it only Putin? But these thoughts are all not legal as long as the killing is going on. So it's not a point to think about it. When the war is over and everything is hopefully normal, then we can start to think about other things.
For sure. Now I've got a tough question, and mainly for you two, and Dan, as a fan of the band, maybe, and friends, you know, what one track sums the band up the best, do you think?
The good thing is,
I want your two's perspective, and I want Dan to say what his favorite track is.
Okay. Yeah.
Not from the new album.
No, of course. No, I love the band for many years, and from time to time, doing DJ jobs in Gothic clubs as a guest DJ, and I always loved to play the song from OOMPH, and I sang along during I play the song. So I love so many songs of the band. So came up with a big hits like Augen auf, Träumst du, Gott ist ein Popstar, Labyrinth. There's so many songs I love, and I really looking forward to sing the old great songs live.
Awesome. Okay, you two, what do you think? What do you think? One track sums up the band.
For me personal, it would be a shame if one song sums up the band, because we work totally different.
And if an alien came down from a different planet and said, "What do you guys do? You got 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. What do you play them?" Don't get too philosophical.
We would have to play Augen auf, because it was our most successful thing, and whatever we think about our music, it is pretty obvious what the audience likes.
Yeah, of course. Okay, finally,
not to forget Das weiße Licht.
Yeah. Of course. Okay, finally, what message do you have for the fans, old and new? Have you got something you can tell them?
We can just say thank you for this trust that they gave to the band, especially in the last years, that they believed in us, that we will make it, that we will be able to continue, and that we didn't stop the band. And so we only can say thank you to this for giving us the chance and the opportunity to continue.
Gentlemen, a fascinating chat. Thanks so much for joining me. Good luck with the album. I can't wait I'll have to come to Germany to see you next year or later in the year.
Yeah.
You're
we
welcome.
have the best beer.
Cheers, guys.